Hello guys, today my book report is going to be about Crossing the Chasm by Geoffrey A. Moore. Geoffrey A. Moore is an American writer, an management consultant, and an organizational theorist. He is like due to his success, Geoffrey A. Moore has his own consulting firm, which is called Geoffrey Moore Consulting. Um, so let's talk about the book Crossing the Chasm. Crossing the Chasm is a book that talks about the technology adoption life cycle and how would people like adopt that technology, and of course crossing the chasm. So I'll talk about crossing the chasm, but let me first talk about the technology life adoption cycle. Um, so what is this cycle? Geoffrey A. Moore divides the cycle to five groups, I should say. The first group is the techies or innovators. The second group is the early adopters. Um, the third group is the early majority. The third group is large. The fourth group, I'm sorry, is large majority, and the fifth group is the laggards. So the chasm lies between the early group and the early majority one. So what is the chasm and how do we cross it? The chasm is the point between, as I said, the early majority and the early group and the early majority. Um, the chasm is the point of which where the tech company wants to, or the company wants to move itself from the early market to that market. And how do we go about that? Like how we do that? These we have like some like he pointed out some points that we could use. He said that we shouldn't gamble the company's money on like tacky gimmicks that could in the end work or it couldn't. We should focus on the company's strength, and it's basically its early identity. Um, and that's how we cross the chasm. In his words, that we should focus on the company's strength rather than focusing on something that could potentially destroy the company. The idea that I liked about this book, like the one that got me interested, is the idea of adoption of technology. So he gave a great example on 3D TVs and electric cars. He said that why didn't 3D TVs although it's a great idea, why didn't it like go further? Um, because 3D TVs force us to use the technology or the TV in a way that we as people like don't like it per se. It's forcing us to use glasses that we shouldn't use to view, or we're not used to using to watch TV to experience the 3D experience. Um, that alone could potentially like drive off a huge portion of the market. But I myself like had a 3D TV and I just used it once. Um, because it is like the best way to describe it is that it was a gimmick for me. Like it was just something that I was interested in at first, and then when I used it, I found out it was just it was a drag, like to use the TV again, like in 3D mode. So I'm not continuing support to that particular technology because the way it is forcing me to use it. Um, how could we like if we are introducing this type of technology, new technology or something like that, without forcing us people to like change our ways or change what we used to use that technology. Um, a great example is electric cars. Electric cars, in the beginning, they weren't like an acceptable idea per se. Some people said that they didn't like the idea. Some people said that it doesn't have enough support for us to use electric cars. Like we didn't have enough charge stations, or like my house isn't equipped with the power outlet that lets me charge my car at home. Um, and some people said like flat out like the idea, like they want to be like to use the to be one of the few, like the first people to buy electric cars because they saw it as a future. Um, Electric cars, what can we do with them? Um, Excluding Tesla nowadays because it's a luxury brand, like it became a luxury brand rather than a high tech car, like high tech car brand. Um, what can we do with that is um, like what not can we do, like it's already done. People like that, like companies that are making hybrid cars, they give you the gasoline engine and they give you the electric engine, and you can choose like in most cases like you will drive in the gasoline engine more than the electric. The electric is just in the start or at lower speeds, but they gave you the option like to use both. Like you're not out of your comfort zone. So when you see it that way, like companies, if they want to go about the electric route in the future, like they gave you the gasoline engine, but they also give you the electric one, so they can keep the gasoline engine and keep improving in the electric one, putting new features in it, more power, more torque, and people in the end like will gravitate towards that when they get used to it, and it will slowly start replacing the gasoline engine. Okay, this book. That was the idea that I liked about this book, but the reason, like at first, like I gravitated towards this book is because he used an example that we are all familiar with, which is Mark Zuckerberg. He uses it as an example to pull the readers, like to make them want to read the book, and he was successful with that. Like I was intrigued, like I wanted to know more. I would honestly recommend this book to anyone who wants like who has a vague interest in marketing, or any person who wants to start up their own tech company and want to know like what is the marketing behind that. Um, and yeah, that was my book report on Crossing the Chasm. I hope you guys liked it, and yeah, looking forward for your reports. Thank you.